Awal Musa. He's the Executive Director, Civil Society Legislative Advocacy Center, CISLAC. He's also the head of Transparency International in Nigeria. Mr. Musa, good morning and welcome to the program.
Thank you. Good morning and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too. I think I should begin by asking your views on the new tax law, all you've heard, conversations you've had and heard.
Thank you very much. Personally and organizationally, we think it is necessary to have tax reform in our laws and the implementation and compliance. This is because of the lacunas we have in the various laws that you have in the country. So government coming up to harmonize the various laws that we have to hopefully ensure that there is more unified tax law in the country that will work for everyone. We think it was necessary, and that is why we supported the effort to reform our tax law in Nigeria. However, we supported it with some caveats, with some concern that we have expressed during the discussion and the public engagement that we also engage government, legislature, and the Nigerian people. As we all know, many big men and women in this country, they don't pay taxes. As we all know, many companies get what they call tax waivers or tax holiday. All sorts of allegedly fraudulent tax waivers are given to some people who have link in government. And therefore, if we are going to have any new tax law, it must close those gaps. But more importantly, what Nigerians are asking and talking is the absence of clarity in this law. Number one, the question of legitimacy, arising from the controversy from the National Assembly, claiming that what they have passed is not what is being gazetted. This must be addressed in order to restore sanity and public trust. Again, many Nigerians, as you know, are very skeptical about this desperation that also government show. This is because over the years, many Nigerians, they don't believe in government promises and commitment, and because many at times government do also fail Nigerians. For example, Nigerian government withdraw fuel subsidy, and they say that the saving will be utilized to improve and better the life of Nigerians. Today, 2 years after fuel subsidy removal, the saving, the large chunk of the saving, has not in any way translated into improvement in terms of healthcare system in the country, in terms of education, in terms of energy, in terms of water and sanitation, and even in many instances, infrastructural development. So this is why many Nigerians are believing that the absence of transparent and accountable utilization of these taxes will also follow the same way, the way this subsidy saving were made. And government must do everything possible to convince Nigerians beyond reasonable doubt that this is not going to be business as usual. Unfortunately, that has not been a core center of the communication from the government in terms of restoring or consolidating confidence on Nigerians, on the ability of government to be transparent, to be accountable. And then again, you also have the challenges of the fact that the timing that has come around this issue is a very difficult timing for many Nigerians because the hardship, the inflation, the collapse of virtually every purchasing power in this country, especially for middle-level people, has also been exaggerated by the economic hardship. So to come up with this, definitely you have to contend with the reaction that Nigerians are going to be making. But I think, it is very important that Nigerian government demonstrates this accountability framework, because when you have a weak oversight of government expenditure, it becomes difficult for people to actually have their trust. As it is now, the National Assembly that is supposed to be carrying out oversight on public expenditure tracking or spending is very weak. You can imagine, even if the law they have passed is not allegedly what is being gazetted, how will they be able to assert themselves? So these are issues that you really need to do a lot to justify and create that confidence for Nigerians to support government, because government needs the revenue. If you don't pay taxes, ideally government will not have money to finance development, and therefore it is necessary that the citizens, those who are supposed to pay taxes, they should be able to pay taxes. In other countries, we have seen how taxes are utilized for the benefit of the people in those countries. We have seen how infrastructural development, through the use of taxation, have been helpful in many instances. But
all right, Mr. Wow.
Mr. Wow,
if you can hear me, I just want to ask. I mean,
I can hear you.
Yeah, we know it's obvious that the people do not really trust the government or the government's intention, which is why you hear a lot of criticism to whatever policy the government brings, especially in this tax issue, which it has to do with the people's money. But how do we go past this to rekindle a good working relationship between the government and the people, for the government to be able to win the trust of the people? You talked about the removal of fuel subsidy, and a lot of people have asked, okay, so we've seen FAC increase over the months, after that removal, but can governments boldly come out to say, this is how much we have saved since we removed subsidy, this is what we have used it for, these are the states, that have gotten this and this. I mean, government at all levels. So I guess the people do have a history, for not trusting the government. But how do we change the narrative? That's actually what's really important at this time.
So you can change this narrative through a number of issues. One, ensure public disclosure of expenditure in this country, so that Nigerians can see exactly what you have collected and what you have used that money for. That's number one. Number two, clearly link these funds with the measurable developmental financing in this country. Number three, ensure that you reform the fiscal policies in the country that will ensure that it is no longer a burden to Nigerians. I mean, we keep on borrowing every time, even after you withdraw the subsidy on the petroleum product. You keep on borrowing, and this borrowing, as far as Nigerians are concerned, are not able to see tangible, benefit for the Nigerian people, even though you say it is going to be for the benefit of the Nigerian people. So government must demonstrate in a very clear and patriotic manner that they are not going to just use this to finance personal, interest, or to, use it for diversion of public taxpayers' money. Again, you need to strengthen the legislative and civil society oversight. This is one way in which you can actually restore confidence on Nigerians that this new tax law, if implemented fully, will actually be, oversighted, to be tracked, and the audit, the public audit, will also be made available, so that Nigerians can begin to have confidence in their government. Because it's a very disturbing thing that the citizens don't believe in government. It's very disturbing thing that the citizens don't trust their leaders. You cannot run a country where citizens don't believe, they see everything as a lie, as a deception, as a misrepresentation. It is not good. We need government, public officials must make effort to ensure that they bridge that mistrust. And they can only bridge that mistrust when they also adjust the way they sometimes recklessly spend public taxpayers' money. You cannot be borrowing money and then be running a very lavish and unexpected spending that we are seeing in this country. You can only, restore confidence on Nigerians when they see truly that you care for them. For example, many Nigerians are not able to access healthcare system in this country. Many Nigerians are not able to even access education, quality education. Many Nigerians are not able to access even drinking water. Many Nigerians are not able to sleep because of the insecurity in the country. And if you are actually using these taxes to help improve the life of Nigerians, I am telling you, Nigerians will be the vanguard for encouraging, tax collection in Nigeria. But as long as Nigerians, they see that, every now and then you borrow money and this money, no explanation. Even the lawmakers that are approved for this loan, they have no idea, they have no details on what has been done. Definitely you will deepen this, concern that Nigerians are having. So I think it is possible for government to
Mr. Wow, from the other side now, we've talked of what the government should be doing, but I believe the people also have the responsibility. I mean, you can't just wait and say, oh, the government is not telling us what they're going to do, so we'll just sit down like that and maybe just kick against the law or the taxes, which we know is a necessity. So what, from your perspective, can the people be doing, or should the people be doing at this time, especially since it's a new dawn of the new tax era in the country?
Like I mentioned earlier on, many Nigerians supported government, when government wanted to do this tax reform, because we believe that the multiple taxation, the unfair taxation that you see in this country, and virtually almost every government agency has turned, to a revenue collection. Many Nigerians believe that there is need for government to harmonize the various laws and to bring more sanity into the taxation administrative justice system in the country. And therefore, Nigerians supported, in my opinion, the effort of government to do this tax reform. However, this is democracy, and if you are doing it for the interests of the people and for the nation, you must listen to the people, you must listen to Nigerians, so that areas that they have concern, you either clarify or you either address those concerns that they have. But you cannot do it, as if you are having a personal interest without, actually listening to the people. Remember, even during the military regime, they also, listen to public concern, even though in many instances, after the public, engagement, they still do what they wanted to do. But at least for the fact that people had the right to express themselves and to make suggestions, concrete suggestions that will even strengthen what government, is doing, is very key. So if you don't take people into confidence about that, and if your communication is very poor, then you continue to create, opportunity for rumors, misinformation, distortion, and what have you. So that is why it is important that government is very clear about this, and government should see the concern that Nigerians are expressing on this. You cannot have a law that is already creating legitimacy problems. You have to address that. And for the fact that you insisted you must, implement it, even though there are this legitimate concern of the inconsistency in the law passed by the National Assembly and the one gazetted for, it creates also concern. And therefore, government, I don't think, need to be in a hurry without addressing this legitimacy concern. And I think Nigerian people are happy to support government, because Nigerians, they need water, they need clean water, they need peace, they need quality education, they need quality healthcare system. And if the Nigerian people are being told and communicated that it is only when you contribute your quota that you can gain this, I believe that Nigerian people will do that.
All right.
I have been
so let me ask,
advocating for tax justice in the country for a very long time.
Let me ask this. A lot of people have said that before now, it seems a lot of Nigerians are not concerned about what the government is doing with the revenue that they get from the country, doing with even the loans, the debts, that you talked about. So, but with this new law, when people are compelled, to be a part of the tax net, that perhaps we will get more Nigerians showing concern, asking questions, and following the activities of government to know exactly if the government is doing right or wrong. I wonder if you agree with this notion.
Well, it is only when people are productive, when people are able to generate income, when people are able to, contribute to the economy that you can actually even tax them. When they are, jobless and they have nothing doing and the economy is not productive, it's only consumption you see, that's why you continue to borrow, then it becomes difficult for, for you to achieve that. But I believe that if the government had created conducive atmosphere for Nigerians to either gain jobs, by creating, small scale, medium scale, industry, Nigerians will be able to gain, gainful job, and they must be contributing, to the government. For example, now workers automatically they pay their taxes. Those who usually don't pay are big men and women. We can see that based on even the research we conducted with Sisla and Oxfam, we saw that large chunk of big men and women, they don't pay tax. Big people in government, they don't pay tax. Everything is provided for them, So the burden is more of like on the ordinary person who is struggling for survival. And that is why we are insisting on tax justice. Market women, the multiple taxation they, encounter. If you go to market, woman that is selling just ordinary granite and akra, come and see how much harassment, how much extortion that she suffer or that they suffer. So that is why we are out there to support government to ensure that we have tax justice that will be done transparently with accountability and measurable development to see that, look, as a result of paying these taxes, your life can be improved or it has been improved. And if the government is disclosing information, closing the communication gap, ensuring that everything is actually disclosed and you have access to information that you can actually track things. And the legislature at the state and the national level are also doing their bit. The media is also helping to ensure that they investigate some of those issues, especially if there's bridges. Civil society continuously educating and creating awareness for Nigerian people to pay and support government to collect tax and ensure that they demand accountability on what their money is being used. I believe that will be better off. At the state level, that is where you even have more challenges because the voices of accountability is very low at the state level. And that is why we have, as a CISLAC, we have established a tax justice network across the country to ensure that we support policy programs of government and ensuring that Nigerians are educated on the issues around the tax and its fairness and why they must contribute tax to government so that development can happen in the country.
All right.
So we have, launched virtually in every state, we have what we call tax justice and governance network, which is primarily helping to raise consciousness around issues of taxation, around issues of use of taxation, around issues of ensuring that people must pay tax for government to be able to do development in the various tiers of government that we are.
All right.
These are the kind of contribution that we are making.
All right, Mr.
And we are not being paid. We are not consultant to government. We are just patriotic to ensure that we encourage government to do the right thing and
all right, Mr.
to also do the right thing.
All right, Mr. Awal, thank you so much for your patriotism, and we do appreciate your contribution. Of course, we do hope that this new tax law, by implementation, would solve those problems and be able to close that gap between the government and the people. Thank you so much, Executive Director, Civil Society Legislative Advocacy Center, CISLAC. It's also the head of Transparency International in Nigeria, Mr. Awal Musa.